everyone. Welcome back to Enforcer and the Dude. Yes, we're back. We're back on the air, live, on the interweb.
By popular demand, Russ.
It is by popular demand, and there's one group of people which we've had an association with for a lot of years, and you might have picked it up with some of the banners in the background. Super Cheap Auto are now the naming rights sponsor of Enforcer and the Dude. So, how good's that?
Well, it's fantastic, Russ, because the one thing we always get is when's the next episode coming?
Yep.
And we managed to get through with everyone that helped us so far, but this will allow us to take it to another level and just keep the shows coming for the fans. So it's going to be great.
Couldn't agree more. Supercars, we should thank them because they freed up Super Cheap Auto's cash for us. So thanks for that, guys. Yeah, we appreciate that. So yeah, but it is good, and everyone out there, and thanks to all our fans, our regular fan base, and hopefully future fans as well, for supporting us, and have always said, like you said, Paul, you know, when's it coming on? But we're always scratching around for nickel and dimes around the back of the couch, and finally, you know, we've got a budget together now that they've committed for the year. So we've got a full season coming at you this year of Enforcer and the Dude, and we're going to mix it up a bit too, and you know, do some cool stuff behind the scenes of just motorsport and motoring, the people behind the scenes, drivers, you know, and all sorts of different stuff. So and this is very much going to be fan based as well. So keep those questions coming.
Keep the feedback coming in now. We've got some great feedback just over the last couple of days of what people want to know about. So, and we know how to deliver it, Russ. So let's get on with it, mate.
Yeah.
Let's give the people what they want.
Give the people, or you say it all the time, Paul. And it is, look, and it is good, and it's great that we ran that car right there.
See what I've done with that car, mate?
I know.
See what's missing?
Is that the new Gen3?
It's got no wing.
Yeah, is that the Gen3? You're designing it?
Yeah, I'm designing it, mate. I
wondered who was designing it.
Just got to hack a bit off the front and we're away.
Well, no one seems to know who's designing it, including most of the team, so I didn't know it was you, Paul.
Just trim the wings and get on with it.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
No, but we ran the super cheap car out of this very workshop right here at Norwell.
Oh, we did, and my sprint car and all the stuff we've done them over the years, so it's good to have them back in the building. It's fantastic.
Yep. And the good thing about it is, and we want to make this clear right from the outset, is they've given us full editorial control of this. They said, we just want to see you guys back on air.
Yeah, do what we do.
But you do whatever you want to do. They got no control over it, which I think is great to have that.
We can't be bought.
No, can't be bought, mate. No problems at all.
It's an independent show.
Well, that's the important thing, and I know there's a few team owners around the place too. Have said the same thing. We need an independent show.
It's important. You need independent press to you can't just keep getting the propaganda. So we're going to give it.
Okay, let's roll on.
Righto.
Thank Christ, COVID's over. All right, she's over. We're back into motorsport, or sports in general started up again, but motorsports is back on the cards. There's been F1 testing, MotoGP, Supercars, TCR, you name it, it's been going on everywhere. Isn't it great to see cars going around racetracks again? Yeah,
and we're starting to see a few fans coming back too, Russ, is what it's all about. I don't know how long we can keep racing without fans back on the circuit. So, yeah, one false start there at Phillip Island for the Shannon's Nationals TCR round, but they moved that back and got it on. And there was fans at the track there for that as well. So, yeah, back into racing. It's good to see.
F1's been out testing. We obviously got... it should be a good year this year because the driver market has been on the move a bit. It's always good when you see a bit of movement around drivers and teams. And obviously our Aussie hopeful, Mr. Ricciardo, is pretty bold step because people have been 50-50 about the move to McLaren. Is it going to work? You know, has he made the right choice when Renault seemed to be coming good? Did he jump off the train too early? But now they've got a pretty good engine package. Testing, there's a few saying they were McLaren were sandbagging a bit. They had a bit left in the tank.
You reckon?
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't do that, would
That's what they reckon. Well, Norris was second on one of the days, so
you won't know till the race starts. But for me, it's you know, if you're not in a race-winning car, if you've got to be in a fourth or fifth place car, being the one where you can earn the most dough, that's probably what he's done.
You reckon? Looking long term?
Well, long term too, you look at McLaren, what they're doing with their road car division and stuff, it aligns into a brand that could have a career past his driving career as a brand ambassador for that brand, similar to what Mark Webber does with Porsche and whatever.
Yeah, okay. Sebastian Vettel, because he's linked himself with Aston Martin, so there's a future there beyond the racetrack as well.
I think so, but he must see something in the car and gets him into another challenge. So
I mean, he's a championship winning driver, isn't he? He's
and just a personality, Russ.
How refreshing is it to see people? I mean, that's what sport in general needs, and not just motorsport across the board.
Yeah.
Isn't it refreshing to see someone like him? He's just, he's a sponsor dream, really.
Yeah, he is, and he's allowed to be himself. And interesting to watch Formula One this year and see how he goes. It's probably the only reason I watch it's just to watch what he's going to do. So
yeah,
it's like if there was an Aussie in there, would you turn it on the TV?
No, not the last couple of seasons.
No, you wouldn't.
It's been pretty average as far as if you were going racing, because you pretty well knew who was going to fill the top 3 spots. There was going to be a Mercedes or 2 in there anyway. So when you can predict a race meeting, it sort of takes a sting out of it, doesn't it?
Yep.
MotoGP's been up and revving too. That's going to be another good season as well, because they did pretty well in jamming a championship in, and but not having Marc Marquez in there, looks like he's not going to make the first race.
Yeah.
Still that injury.
Is he coming back?
Look, I reckon they're not telling us everything about how bad his injury is. It's obviously because he hasn't been out training. It's been very low-keyed. It's not like you've been seeing him out at the gym or on a push bike, because there's normally shots going everywhere, some sort of images.
Yep.
You haven't seen anything anyway. I reckon his injury is a bit worse than what's being made out. So that's a bit of a worry. They cut some laps on looked like a superbike, and not very many. So, and then they announced straight after that he won't be at the first race. So something must have been pretty sore.
Something must be pretty sore, but you wouldn't want to let too many of those. Can you win a championship if you're not in the first race? You probably can, if he can come back and ride at the form he was at.
Yeah.
Be that dominant, but coming back from injury, that's a tough one.
Jack Miller's punching the numbers straight away.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Well, the good thing about it, we talk about Ricciardo, he's moved to a completely new team and car. With Jack Miller, he's basically just moved across, still racing a Ducati. The team he had before was still Ducati assisted. So he's just turned left, but the transition's obviously a lot less, and punching in the numbers straight away in testing. Yeah,
so shift to the factory team, same bike, should be better resourced, better funded, and just for yourself, knowing you're on the factory bike, and gives you a bit of confidence. I'd think. I think from a driver, a rider's point of view, if you're their guy.
Yeah.
It's got to be some lap time in that, hasn't it?
Oh, massively amount. They're already talking him up as the championship favourite, which he reckons. Read one article said, yeah. Normally people will go, oh, hang on, it's too early. He's going, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so he's full of confidence, which is good. Remy Gardner.
Yeah, good in testing, huh?
No, it seems to be the real deal, eh?
Yeah.
Like
determined.
On the KTM,
but yeah, if he can just Moto2 for a while, and the big thing that we talk about it here before is they reckon he's size-wise he'll go better on the big bike. So. Okay.
Yeah, because he's not small, is he? He's a tall guy.
Not small for not small for a MotoGP rider. So if you follow what Wayne Gardner always talks about, and it's worth following Wayne Gardner's socials, because you get pretty good updates on Remy and what's going on. And he reckons if he gets his hands on a big bike, he'll be away. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool for to have another Australian potentially that's going to be, pretty well there. He's obviously got some talent. Very rarely does a sibling come off and have following his dad's footsteps, and it looks like he is. So. Hey, I want to flick to NASCAR. I know you're a big fan of American racing in general, Speedway, NASCAR, all the rest of it. James Small, engineer, not a household name, starting to be a household name in America in racing circles, because he's being touted now as a very successful crew chief. Yeah, NASCAR, so he's a crew chief on Martin Truex Jr.'s car. So they had a win last weekend. Big thing. Well, James was your engineer for a while there, wasn't he?
That's right. Well, right here. When we run the super cheap car here, well, there was the band of them, wasn't there? Because they were all fresh out of uni.
Yeah, we had all those kids out of uni.
Yeah, there was Brad
Wischusen.
Yeah, Wischusen. We never get his name right, and he worked for us for years.
Brad.
Yeah, g'day Brad, B-Rad.
Brendan Hogan was straight out of uni.
Yeah, Brendan Hogan's Tim Slade's engineer at the newly developed Blanchard team, and James Small.
James Small. So they were all guys that had been at uni together and come to work here. And gone on to bigger and better things.
They were smart dudes. We actually didn't know what we had, did we, with those guys? Because they were smart, eh?
They designed and built that car, didn't they?
They kept the machine shop business busy because they were just making stuff left, right, and centre. But isn't it a good story? Because we keep focusing about drivers, but you know, mechanics and engineers, just as important, really, to see them run. And being a crew chief in NASCAR, man, This is almost as important as a driver, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different over there. So that's basically team manager, strategist, and in charge of the whole crew rolled into one. So big responsibility to have a team of probably 30 people underneath him for one car. And the thing I like about NASCAR is, that we're talking about, is how they changed things up and adapted. And we can learn a bit from that. So they had some races recently where you just unloaded and raced. There was no testing, no practice, just unload the car and start the race.
Straight into it.
Yeah, and then they've got the Bristol Dirt Race coming up.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Tell me a bit about it, because you're across.
Yeah, they've taken Bristol Motor Speedway and covered it in dirt, and it's the first time in 50 years that NASCAR Cup cars have run on dirt. So they've just taken the NASCAR and put a dirt tyre on it, and they're going to...
Exactly the same car.
Exactly the same car.
So it'd be like grabbing a supercar and taking it to the speedway.
Taking it out to Archerfield Speedway and going, let rip. So
serious?
It's got to be interesting, but I think we can learn from that, because maybe we can't run on dirt, but we could go to a track like Mallala that we haven't been to before and just take the cars there, unload them, have qualifying and have 3 races. I reckon you'd absolutely fill the place, and we'd have short track racing or something. There's things we can do that can be done differently.
Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. You know, you want to take something out of its natural environment and put it somewhere that's totally unique. And if you're going to engage new fans, maybe that's the way to do it. You know, grab a supercar and take it somewhere where it shouldn't go. And all of a sudden people go, oh, that's pretty good. Maybe I'll keep looking at that.
Yeah, I think it's not only new fans, it's excite the old ones, the people that have gone away and go, oh, okay, I'm going to come back and look at that.
Supercar on dirt.
Supercar on dirt. Could we do that? Probably not, but could you imagine a race around Lakeside? Somewhere where we haven't been before, and you know, everyone goes to these big tracks, so we go to the Bend. It's a magnificent facility, but what about a short track? Yeah. Like, where's our version of the short track or something different? That's something we can work on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
How good was the racing around Amaru? It was short and punchy.
That was short.
Yeah.
Malala's
still there. Shaheen's own it.
Yeah.
Let's imagine a race at Malala. You wouldn't get the fans in there. You couldn't get everyone in there, I don't think. You'd pack the joint.
Yeah, and like you said, just roll up. I think that's...
Roll up, pull the car out of the transporter, roll it round into pit lane.
Yeah.
Unload, 15-minute qualifying. That's it.
Yeah.
Then race. 1, 2, 3 races. Go home.
I think you're right. Everyone's time poor, and I think that's why AFL and NRL has always been successful. Short, sharp, go there, watch the match, go home. You know, you can't stretch it out for 3 or 4 days.
Well, that will lead into the next one on our thing, which is the ARG race meeting.
Yeah.
Which had a bit of that at it.
So the TCRs and
TCR kept coming, and the Trans Ams and the S5000s. Yeah. If you were there watching on the hill,
it
was a good meeting to be at, because the action just kept coming and there was plenty of it. Yep, it was a 2-day race meeting.
Plenty of supports, off you go.
Off you go. Fantastic.
Yeah. And T8, there's TA2, that's separate now, a separate series. Same car.
Well, there's been a bit of a merger. So you had TA2 was running on the AASA sanctioning body, which is where Nathan Hearn was doing his racing, and that's why he never got any recognition from Motorsport Australia. So then Motorsport Australia have the Trans Am series, the exact same cars, but what they did on the last weekend at Phillip Island, they all come and race together basically, which was good. So
TCR race at Phillip Island.
It's good.
Tasmania was, I suppose, the first year everyone was a bit
was
rusty.
strung out.
It was strung out a bit. Probably not the best circuit for a TCR car because it's 2 direct strips really when you look at it. But Phillip Island was
good racing.
Actually quite good racing.
Yeah. My take out from the TCR was good racing. They somehow need to compress the field a bit. There's a bit of disparity in car speed, and I think it's car speed because you've got good drivers like Moffat and that sort of mid-pack.
They should be more up the point.
And the lap time's too far apart. So
they got to get the balance of performance.
Well, they had that. So I don't know if you got the Audi, Chaz in the Audi, he's doing a good job, and streaking away and winning by 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Get the battle of performance going.
Yeah.
So they've got the ability to bring them together, rate the racing better. But the other good one I really liked about TCR was Luke King, who'd come from Toyota 86. So that tells me 2 things. It tells me Toyota 86 racing in Australia is at a very high level. Like if you can win one of those races, you're a pretty good racing driver. Because he's gone straight into TCR and he's matching Chaz.
Okay.
You know, Chaz has got him by a couple of tenths here and there every now and again. Races a little bit better than him, but a lot more experience, and he's come straight into that category, done well.
So there's a good ladder between the two, jumping from one to the other.
Yeah, it's the pointer, and I think the other thing you'd have Brock Feeney come out of Toyota 86 and go the supercar route, has done a good job. So, and Will Brown's done both.
Yep.
He's done supercars and TCR and gone good out of Toyota. So, good series. Plenty of young people coming into it.
Yep. So the racing, I noticed the racing was a bit more aggressive too, which was good. Looks like they let the rope out a little bit more.
No DSO.
Okay.
So no driving standards observer role with TCR. So they're just letting the stewards manage that and the race director.
Sometimes that's gone pear-shaped over the years as well, but...
It has. Well, you know that. You've been on the receiving end.
I know. I've made plenty of donations to that mob. Don't worry about that.
So we need to keep an eye on that one. It might allow the racing to be a bit more open.
Yeah.
But you could be on the wrong call. Like it's always good to have a driver in there to give an opinion.
Yeah.
Because they know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at back in the early days of BTCC, British Touring Car Championship, that was pretty specky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good hard racing.
Yeah, it just so happens, Paul, I've got some BTCC footage. These are sort of like a bit of a highlights package of that. But, you race 2 Litre Touring Car Championship for a lot of years with the BMWs. It was good racing, wasn't it? I mean, when you look how cool it was, look at the number of cars, the different manufacturers that are in it. And this is what TCR's got a good, there's a good opportunity to get these sort of manufacturers involved because they're current, aren't they? You look at all these cars, right?
Yeah.
They're relative to the category, something you can go in the showroom and buy. And that's what I think the success of this category was in its heyday.
All the manufacturers in there, but they're all spending millions of dollars on this, Russ.
Yeah, true.
Which TCR is not.
Yeah.
But I think the point you take away here, if you can look at the racing.
Oh, mate, it's mega.
So,
and I think that's one thing, like I was over there throughout this period, when I was racing in UK and Formula Ford, and I used to stand on the fence and watch this British Touring Car Championship because Formula Ford used to run at the same events.
Yep.
And it was amazing, unless it was a blatant punt off into the fence, it was pretty well open slather. Like you could dive bomb, you could have a big go. And when you see some of this footage, like have a go at it. Like they're having a decent run at it. Cool tracks too, mind you. But when you look at it though, dude, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, a bit of a move over there, wasn't it?
And big names.
Big names, big money.
Yeah.
But I take your point, like the thing that TCR needs to do is put on good racing and people will watch it. Yeah. I think that's your takeaway there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
across the board. Make it entertaining.
Make it entertaining.
Rightio. Now, Supercars back in town. I was obviously got to talk a little bit about Supercars.
Oh, okay.
They Bathurst and Sandown. Bathurst race. Bathurst is a great great endurance racetrack, isn't it? It's never lent itself well to sprint races, has it?
No, unless it's HQ Holdens or something. So
Yeah, something low powered.
yeah, something low powered that doesn't have much aero on it and lasts for 6 laps. So
Yep. No good.
well, I just think Shane Gisbergen was on it the most about the aero wash, and you just couldn't follow. And the only passing that was done in strategy through the pit lane. So
Yeah. They weren't. It's funny enough, they weren't going on as much about aero wash at Sandown, but Sandown's a completely different track. At the end of the day, the two sections at either end are second gear, low speed, low downforce. So it's a non-aero track, really, isn't it? And the racing was actually good compared to Bathurst. So you've got to say, again, another indicator of less aero on the cars.
yeah, a classic example of it, just sticks right at it, doesn't it? You go from a real high-speed track where you can't follow, go to Sandown where you got slow-speed corners leading onto a big long straight. And one thing you didn't see was slipstreaming, but off the cars.
Yeah, okay.
So you could see people get a dry, but no one's getting a tow. So there must still be something wrong with the aero there somewhere. You know, in the old days, you'd get up behind someone and you'd see the rev counter start to rise and you'd pick up 300 or 400 RPM.
Yeah, that's true.
So the cars still must be too draggy, or the wings are still too big. But yeah, it did point to better racing.
But it's still an indication of the aero, you know.
Yeah, it's an indication of the aero.
Yeah.
The racing was better.
Yep.
But did you see anyone tow past anyone? No. No. You know, the only passing was done was by having good drive and getting overlap on someone before you got onto the straight.
Yep.
So having the overlap and then getting it done under braking.
And again, add a bit of water and off it goes again. Again, showing that unpredictability, something low grip produces better racing.
Yeah, well,
every time.
And that Sandown track's a patchwork quilt of surfaces.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that, and the good guys just rub their hands together, don't they? You know, the guys that can just feel their way and understand where the grip level is, and it's different on every part of the track.
Yep.
They just go faster.
How good a job, Brodie Kostecki. You're a protege.
Yeah, he did great.
Yeah, it's good grabbing the podium on the Sunday. Really good job. Pretty mature drive, but you've been singing these praises for a while. I mean, his shoulder's probably pretty red at the moment because there's plenty of black back slappers at the moment. But everyone's come out of the woodwork. Yeah, we knew we could do it, but to me, there was only one guy that knew he could do it, and that was you.
Yeah, well, I think...
you and him.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a surprise to me. I think he's a really good fit for that team because he's very strong technically.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, Dave couldn't survive there. That wasn't getting on, didn't look through COVID. But if there's a crisis in the car and there's an engineering deficiency or there's a problem with the car, Brodie's going to lead you the way out of it.
Yep.
And he's like, when you talk to him, he knows exactly what he's talking about. So whether he's talking about tyre pressure or shocks or roll bars or squat.
Well, he works on cars. He's mechanically, he knows the car mechanically.
He's going to lead you to the path where the car's going to have its strength. So really good fit for that team. I think he's, if there's a crisis there, he's going to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Well, I've sat down actually. Well, I didn't sit down. I drove around with Brodie, and this is a segment where we're coming to you a little bit later on, but actually had a drive around with Brodie and picked his brain a little bit. So it's quite interesting. So look out for that one. That'll be coming up. A new segment called Drive Talk. So look out for that one. Yeah. So, and that was with Brodie. Brodie's our first.
Oh, you'll.
Yeah. It was good. He's a good kid. So, and that again, this is what I'm talking about. We want to bring you something about people that you don't really know or haven't seen, on TV. So this is what that's all about. We've got to talk a bit about Gen 3 because we've had a lot of questions from our fans that follow the show about our thoughts on Gen 3. We've been rummaging around. I've put in a bit of a, believe it or not, I've still got a few mates within the supercar fraternity. They're normally engineers and mechanics, to be quite honest, and which has given me a bit of info. But firstly, Paul, you've got just as many contacts as I have. What's your read? Because I'm hearing so many mixed reports about where it is, how far down the road it is it happening, how much is it going to cost, and unfortunately, a lot of these questions are coming from teams.
Yeah, there is questions on. I think there's a couple of sides to the story there. So there's teams that want to delay it.
Yep.
And are probably stalling it. There's teams that just want to get on with it and get it done. So that I reckon there's two things going there. But one thing that really troubles me about it is when we did the Car of the Future car, there was non-stop stories coming about it. This is what we've designed. You know, we had a year and a half, nearly 2 years of lead into getting the car. They
information coming out.
Built prototypes. We were getting fed all this information. But we've got nothing.
I haven't seen anything about it.
There's nothing about it except a nice fancy drawing of a Camaro and a Mustang out in the public. So either it's just completely messed up and nowhere, or the thing's that good that they don't want to show anyone. So I reckon I know where I'll be putting the money.
I think you're right, because if you've got something good, you'd be sharing it. Because that's what keeps engagement going. You've got to engage your fan base, you know, at the end of the day, and let them keep them up to speed with what's going on. And I mean, like I said, from what people I've spoken to, it's very, very vague on what's actually going on. There's been snippets, you know, they're saying, I read something the other day about that they're cutting aero by 65%.
Yeah, well, we could just do that then. We could do that with the car we've got.
Just punch it out. Yeah. Punch the wing off of it and off you go. But funny enough, when was it? August 2019, believe it or not, we did that cost-cutting episode of Enforcer and the Dude. So anyone that hasn't seen that, just whiz back and jump on YouTube or something, have a look. And isn't it amazing how all the stuff we spoke about then, you know, that they're starting to talk about. And one of the biggest things was aero, but there was the uprights and controlled components and controlled shockers, which are in now. All the stuff that many years ago, all the stuff we spoke about, you know, is what should be done, and what they're starting to implement anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, Gen 3, I don't know, but it's a bit of a mystery tour, I think.
When are we going to find out? Because it's a pretty big deal. I mean, we'll put it this way.
I asked Roland when can we do some stuff, and he said it'll be a couple of months down the road. So it's.
I mean, like I said, I won't reveal sources.
Yeah.
No one from the media does. So, are we media?
Yeah, we're media.
Are we media?
Yeah.
Can we get some media passes?
Oh, I don't see why not.
I want to get some Supercars media passes. We get TCR ones, all right. We've got a bit of an in there.
We'll just put the application in, mate. I'm sure we can get them.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, classified as media? Yeah. That'd be nice. I'd get one of those nice ones, hang around my neck, walk around like
you'd be able to sit in a media truck at Supercars.
Oh, I'd get a free sandwich, coffee.
Get flown down.
I like free shit. It's good. Yeah. Here's some of the. I asked a few questions, and this is some of the answers I got back again from from people that are involved within teams, and they're saying, well, you know, why do we have a $5,000 door on the car? Which means I didn't even know that. The doors cost $5,000 each.
The driver's door does, yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Any particular reason, or has it got gold-plated handles?
It's just made out of stronger composite material in case you get a whack in the door. So in the old days, the driver's door, so you could have composite doors, and the driver's door had to be original and steel.
Yeah. Okay.
Now they've hot rodded the cars so much you can't actually put a normal road car door on there, so they've had to make something that can handle the impact that's stronger. So it's a good point. If your door costs $5,000, something's wrong, isn't it?
Well, answer me this. So you've got composite doors and panels and all the rest of it, and yet you still got to put lead in the car to weigh it up to weight.
Yeah, well...
So why don't you just run heavier panels that are cheaper?
Well, I would. If it was up to me, the body would just be chopped strand fiberglass and you'd throw it away after every race meeting. But so it's...
Well, why would you make a lighter car and then have to put lead in it?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I can't get my head around that. Like, it's just...
Some of those panels do take a whack. Some of those composite panels, you know, if you hit and rub, they do take a bit of a whack. If it's cheaper fiberglass, like a stadium truck body or the body on a TA2 car, for example.
But it's of a tenth of the price, so what? You have 50 in the truck, just get bolting them
the body would cost the same as a door.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing.
Pull the body off, cut it up, and give it to the kids at the track. And take it away.
Yeah, sign them. There'll be giveaways. There'll be plenty of giveaways. The cars. Why do the cars have so many sensors? You know.
Yeah, that's a good one for me.
Telemetry sensors.
I'm hearing and I've had a bit of look at the spec of the wiring loom in the new car, and it's like, well, what have you taken out?
Yeah.
Like you actually haven't taken much out of the car. It's still the same as the current car. And it just gets back to the point. If you let engineers and people that are working in the category start designing this stuff, they're not going to design themselves out of a job, are they?
No.
So
it's just all this. So why do we have a transaxle? And so this is coming from someone within a team. You know, why do we have a transaxle? You know, and he said, well, when's the last time you saw a transaxle in a road car?
Well, you haven't.
Yeah. Ferrari,
Di Tommaso Pantera or something.
yeah, something.
A Porsche.
You know, it's what we go on about. You know,
but they've got those transaxles. But what are they? 50 grand or something for a transaxle? They've already got them.
Yeah.
So,
I
do we still keep using it?
If we're sitting around having a powwow around this, so we're all sitting around a bar, having a few beers, going, okay, let's design the next Gen 3 car. You know, the first thing about it is, it's about the entertainment. So design the car, right? Design the car. It's not about selling cars, it's not about the cars, it's about entertainment. So that's the first thing that you should base the new car on, is what can I design here that's going to make the racing more entertaining, that's going to bring eyeballs to TVs and people through the gate.
Yeah, so it's got to look good and it's got to be raceable.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And easy to run.
Well, that comes with entertainment. If you're going to have something entertaining, that means you're going to have tackling. I don't want to go to a footy match and not see players tackle, right?
Yeah.
So which means you're going to get damage. So the cars have got to be cheap to repair. Everything you bolt onto it has got to be a factor of that upright's got to be cheap, that wheel's got to be cheap, body panels, everything is, because we're going to have contact, because that's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Right. So you base the model of the car around that, not around aero and sensors and all this sort of crap which people don't care about. A guy in the stands doesn't worry about the road.
You can race properly without contact if the car's good. You're going to get minor rubbing.
Well, we just saw that BTCC stuff. You're always going to, you're going to get minor rubbing and hitting, but the thing's got to be of a basic standard that you can, if you do get damage, you can repair it easy, you can repair it cheaper, so the team owners aren't blowing up that they're spending too much on repairs. One falls in with the other. But at the end of the day, you've got to sit there and what am I trying to achieve? At the moment, I don't know what they're trying to achieve with something we're about to go into, is the paddle shift thing, which I know you loathe. And you're going to sit around and not, is it a GT car? Is it a TA2 car? Is it something in the middle? At the moment, I don't think it's got an identity.
Well, we don't know.
It just seems to be floating, and they haven't picked there's only one thing has to be done. It has to be that whatever they produce has got to be entertaining. That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
I
reckon it's pretty simple. You know,
Yeah.
cheap, entertaining.
It's got to be under 400 grand or.
Well, again, my sources tell me it's more up around 600 grand the new car, plus a 400 grand for a spares package. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, well, it's
allegedly.
Yeah,
so
well, it defeats the purpose if it's. I don't know. You can justify the car being. I don't know how you can justify the car being that expensive, because I've seen Ryan McLeod with Mark Cars build cool cars for under 400 grand.
Yep.
And race them all around the world. They last. They're cool.
Well, that's what we based our cost cutting on that.
Yeah.
One upright that does all four corners.
One upright does all four corners. All that sort of stuff. So if you keep putting expensive parts in the car, it just keeps adding up. So every time you go and put a part in the car, you got to say, do I really need that?
Yep.
And it needs someone strong enough on that who's in charge of building that new car to keep saying no. Keep saying no. Does it make a difference to the person in the grandstand? No.
I mean, even if they get subsidised back through the category, which is something else I heard, that apparently they're going to get subsidised to change over to the new cars.
Right.
That's fine for this one-off. So if you're an existing team and you get a subsidy, what about in a year, 2 years' time, you want to come back into it? You go, you know what, I think I'm going to get back into supercars. I'm going to run a team again. You've got to go out and buy yourself a couple of cars, but that subsidy's gone. You're going to go out and spend $1.2 million on a couple of cars?
No, you're not. Someone will, but you just got to be careful, Russ, because if you look at who owns teams now, they're all successful business people with other businesses, apart from Brad Jones. So you've had the Groves come into Kelly's. You've now got Tony Quinn come into Triple Eight. You've got Betty. You've had Roger Penske in and out of DJR, so they're going to need to find another Roger. So if me and you want to start up a team, where's the business case for it?
It'll price those guys out of the market, you mean?
So
is that
we're
what
just going to, we're just going to end up with.
And he's probably the last of the true of the racers that are left in there, aren't he?
He is.
Last man standing.
He is. You got Rusty French and Rod Nash at FPR. So these are all people that have got successful businesses that are using motor racing as a tool in their business. Which is nothing wrong with that. It's just the other people can't operate at that level.
You're right. It's so important to get this right. And if it means delaying it another year, I'd delay it another year.
Well, if they're all running around convincing themselves that it can be a $600,000 car and justifying it, someone needs to give them a reality check, because if it's over 400 grand,
I think you just park it up, because and the automotive world is changing so much. Audi's come out saying they've stopped, which is Audi would be the Volkswagen Group, which is Audi, Porsche and VW. No more development on petrol or diesel engines. Gone. So forget the manufacturer side of it. It's not there anymore. So it has to be based on just a racing series.
Maybe there is some in some, but not the big dollars.
Every 5 years, everything's going to be EV, let's face it. So this has to be looked at as an entertainment sport. Like Stone and Trucks.
Like Stone and Trucks or
something different like that. But anyway, we'll keep,
like a sprint car.
We're going to keep across that. We'll keep tapping our sources and bring stuff to you as we go on. But let's get on to the paddle shift.
A lot of people are arcing up about this, aren't they?
Drivers, teams, punters are like, I think Speed Cafe did a survey. 85% said punters, no go. We don't want to see fluffy paddles.
The Supercars Fan Council was the same way. They were pretty adamant that they.
So what I thought we'd do is grab a couple of your Toyota 86s. I haven't been behind the wheel. So you're the instructor, because that's what you do here with the 86s, your race school. I'll jump behind the wheel and we'll do stick versus paddles. Give me a rundown on it. Why stick is better for motor racing, all right? Let's get out there. All right, dude, we're in one of your Toyota 86s from the Norwell Race School. This is your go-to tool, isn't it?
It is the car, and they're a brilliant little car. And the reason we like these cars, Russ, is because it shows up the things you do badly.
Okay.
So we keep the grip level down low. And it basically is going to produce a race situation at a lower speed. So the problem's going to happen at 100 k's instead of 200 k's because we brought the grip level down, but it's going to apply.
So this is going to demonstrate quite well what we were talking about. Gear shift versus
paddle shift,
flappy paddle shift. All right. So first we're going to jump in obviously the manual first, get our eye in. So I haven't been in a race car for a while, dude. So I'm going to be a little bit rusty. All right. Well, I have been in a car on a track for a while, so. Which is probably a good thing, because I'm going to be a bit, I haven't changed gears for a while, been driving around in a ute with an automatic, so first things first, I
just blame one on it, eh?
Just bang a lap, all right, so my heel and toe is going to be a bit, so we're keeping the revs up, going to be a bit average, so. Funny driving a manual again, I'm not very tidy, dude, so.
They're not very fast either.
Thanks, mate. Oh, Jesus, what happened then?
Well, your feet's got to do two things, right? It's got to brake, blip. Your right foot's braking and it's blipping. When you blipped, you got too much brake pressure.
Okay.
The ABS came on. and made the car understeer. So in a race situation, you would have got inside front locking. You would have locked the inside front wheel up, and you would have ran wide.
All because of the gear shift. So it all stemmed initially from changing end gears.
100%, Russ, because you had to blip the throttle, you had brake pressure modulated, and you didn't have control of the brake pedal.
Let's see if we can get it done a bit better. Yes, I'm still jerky on the...
Yeah, that's when you roll your foot.
So here's someone that should know what they're doing, but haven't been in a car for a while, haven't been driving a manual for a while.
Yeah.
Getting back into the rhythm again, it's like, oh, okay. So it's taken a while to get back in, isn't it?
Mate,
not easy.
It's not easy. Anyone can get on the gas pedal and drive the car off the corner. That's very easy.
Yeah.
It's braking and turning and gear changing that separates the good drivers from the awesome drivers.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
We've got three things going on.
Yeah. Okay. So going into this one, so you want to get the gear change done early or late?
Well, it depends on the situation.
Yeah. Here?
Well, I'd probably want it about now to help me with a bit of rotation because it's a bit understeery, this car.
Yeah, well, that was better. Yeah, okay.
Oh, you just do what you do, then I'll maybe have a drive and...
Yeah, okay. All right.
But for me, I like to keep that gear change as a tool. That's part of my armour.
Okay, like what, to help rotate the car?
Help rotate the car.
Okay.
So if I've got understeer, if you use it there, it gives you some rotation.
And what about where you let the clutch out?
Well, that's up to you when you left foot, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
So you can either be jerky with that movement or bleed that movement like you would a brake pedal or a throttle.
Yeah.
If you want a slight bit of rotation, bleed off the clutch. If you wanted to aggressively rotate the car, jerk off the clutch.
Okay, so use it as like a handbrake to get the thing tipped in.
That's what you're doing. You're using that as a rotation of the back axle. Using that gear change as that. And
okay. All right, let's have another stab in this corner. All right, there we go. I'll use it to...
Yeah, remember, just enough brake to make the car turn. Oh, blipperitis again, mate.
Well, what happened then is I started to let the clutch out when I was still heeling towing.
Yeah.
So the accelerator pushed it forward.
Yeah.
Because I was still on the gas doing it.
Okay, so your clutch release timing was wrong.
Wrong.
And it made the car launch forward.
Yeah.
Which in a race car, you'll start picking up a bit of understeer, which is what you did. But as I said before, low grip, this is really going to highlight. Okay, that demonstrates that. That one's too early.
See how I rotated the car though?
Yeah.
As soon as I dumped the clutch, so I used very little heel and toe, dumped the clutch, and it just all of a sudden, it's like I had too much front grip.
Well, it's simple, mate. The gear change, the clutch release, is a part of the driver's armoury. It's something they use to manipulate the car.
So it goes towards your argument of saying, hey, make the cars harder to drive. By doing that, you've got to keep one of these things. You've got to keep the stick in the middle.
If you're just looking at the corner now and all you have to steer and turn and brake and press buttons, that's easy.
It's easy. Yeah. Well, we're going to find that out.
That is easy.
Because we've got to paddle shift one of these.
But if you've got to turn in, brake, push the clutch in, flip the throttle, you make a mistake.
So it's the skill of the driver. So the skill of the driver is in every single aspect.
I'll point something out pretty obvious. And Shane Van Gisbergen, SVGs, in-car camera on the weekend.
Yeah.
If you looked at his gear changing and his clutch release in that wet weather race, was right into the late phase of the corner, and you could see his foot just bleeding off the clutch. Just bleeding off the clutch.
So it doesn't lock the rears in the wet?
It doesn't lock the rears.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Technique.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that uses that as part of his driving intellectual property to manipulate the car.
All right, we'll have another go.
There you go, that's beautiful, Rush. Nice, mate.
Okay, gotcha.
There you go. Get the flow going. This is an easy corner because you don't have to change gears. How much easy is that? There's no gear change.
I feel like Lewis Hamilton through that corner.
This one will be harder because you've got a gear change at the turning point.
Yeah.
You're turning and change. Oh, that's smooth, Russ.
Right, okay, all right. I'm getting it.
I reckon you've got it.
And I want to try this one where you're popping the clutch a little bit early to rotate it.
Yeah, okay.
Because this car does understeer.
Yeah, you know where you want it.
Yeah.
On that entry phase. About now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, gotcha, okay.
Yeah. Your throttle ramp needs a bit of work now, but that's probably the next lesson.
Yeah. I'll book him for another one on that one. Yeah, I'll do it again here on that because I reckon it's really interesting. And what you're saying about Shane Van Gisbergen using it to rotate the car.
He's the master of it.
So if you're a little bit more aggressive on there. It's obviously exaggerating a little bit,
that's
but
a perfect example. It's like pulling the handbrake on, but
it was. Just by popping
if you've got control of that tool in the car, you're going to be faster than the
that was
the guys that don't think about that.
Yeah, it's way exaggerated. Yeah, but it's interesting though, isn't it? I just find it really, to me, that's what I want to see. I want to see people's footwork. I want to see. There's no better than seeing that, they call it dancing, dancing on the pedals, I just reckon that's so cool. And to take that all away is just, to me, it's ludicrous. But look, you've got a paddle shift one. Let's jump in the paddle shift.
Yep.
And see the difference. You teach me around on the paddle shift version of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll see the difference because I want to see the visual difference between the two. So, let's jump in that.
One's a race car and one's a car you drive, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly right. All right, let's jump in that. Let's go have a look. All right, dude. Now we're in the Flappy Paddle 86.
Yep.
What do you use this one for too at the race course, by the way?
It's for guys in Porsche Cup GT cars that have lost the art of using a manual transmission and they don't really need to use it. So
okay, all right.
You find that people that are racing cars with paddle shift, when they go back to a manual shift, they really struggle. So if it's something they don't need to worry about anymore, we just put them straight in a car with paddle shift.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right, so you got the bases covered here.
Yeah, and you can teach left foot braking and all those other techniques.
Straight away, it's like I'm driving down the shops.
So this is assisted shifting.
Yeah.
It's going to rev up for you.
So that's actually revving on the down change as well.
Yeah, it's rev matching.
So no more heel and toe. So that's just foot on the brake.
Yeah, if you try and pull it too early, it won't let you as well. So if you try to manipulate the car with the transmission, it'll just won't let you do it.
How much easier is this to drive?
Well, it's one less thing you have to think about, mate.
So
your brain's only got a certain amount of capacity.
Yeah.
If you take away one of the jobs it has to do, it's going to be easy to drive, right?
Oh, mate, this is like driving down the shops.
Yeah, well, you've raced a GT car with paddle shift.
But the difference with something that has got no aero, and you saw how precise you had.
It wouldn't let you do it.
No. Yeah, okay. So it's telling me what?
Yeah.
It's still too high, too much road speed.
Yeah, which it has its place. It's fine in GT cars or Porsche Cup where you've got gentleman drivers and in cars where inexperienced drivers can do damage to the transmission and the engine.
Yeah.
It has its place, but not in supercar racing. Like the drivers in a supercar should be good enough where they're not going to wreck the transmission or blow the engine up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for me with this is so much easier.
Well, it's freed up your brain, mate. The corner, you just have to brake and steer and click a button. So would it be right? It is easier, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's massive. Like I said, this is just before, because I hadn't been in a manual for a while. I was struggling a bit to get my head around.
Yeah.
It'd take a couple of sessions for me to get start dial back in to use the heel and toe right.
All right.
Drop the clutch to the right. Mate, I could go and lay a lap time straight away.
Let me throw this one at you, mate.
Okay.
You're always good at the lunge.
Yeah.
Last of the late breakers, throwing up the inside.
Yeah.
Right. if you haven't got the transmission to manipulate the car on entry, how are you going to pass someone when you have a dive?
Jesus. Well, maybe where you look at something like...
That clip of you at Bahrain, I don't know. Was it Bahrain?
Maybe there's not a hell of a lot... On a dry day, there's not a hell of a lot of passing a Carrera Cup, is it?
Well, you can't, mate. You can't. Everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But you think, like, you're about to pass someone in a supercar.
Yeah.
You pull out, you dive up the inside. If you're not going to stop, you go to the transmission.
Yeah.
You go to engine braking.
Well, here you
and you
can't,
go to rotation. You're trying to rotate, you just spear off the road and drill the guy on the door.
Well, that was it. I just left it really late then.
If that was in the manual. Grab the gear you want.
Grab the gear.
Control the clutch release. Rotate the car. Make it round the corner.
Around. Yep.
Well, but they want more passing.
Yep. And you got to have passing is also about the driver making a mistake and getting past because he's made a mistake.
Well, if you look at look at Tim Slade's incident at Bathurst, unfortunate it is, but that wouldn't have happened.
No.
But you know, he's just been out of the car for a year and not match fit.
Yeah. No, look, I get it. You know,
They don't give footballers Velcro gloves and put Velcro on the ball to make it easy for everyone to play football, do they?
No.
And you don't go out to play Test cricket and go, oh, can we give everyone a bigger bat? That means it'll make it easier for everyone to do.
Yeah. Like, I get it. Flappy paddles in the skip bin. Get rid of it.
It's fine for purpose.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and
it helps. It helps some people drive race cars fast that normally couldn't do it.
Any sport should be about skill.
Yeah.
Should be about skill. So if you make it easy, you're taking the skill level down. You're just dulling it down to nothing. So I get it, dude. I get it. Flappy paddles out, and I know you're a strong advocate for it, as it seems like most of the drivers. But for some reason, there's other forces behind it that want to bring it in. And mate,
the two things
they're obviously not racist.
They want to make the cars easy for everyone to drive, so they can sell cars to the average person.
Yeah.
Or they're worried about the cost of blowing up transmissions and over-revving engines. But if you can't do that in supercars, you shouldn't be in there.
Yep. No, I agree.
You shouldn't have a job driving one.
Yep, agree.
It's part of your skill set is looking after your equipment.
Keep it simple, stupid.
All right.
That was really interesting, dude. Number one, because it showed you I'm pretty rusty driving a manual again, I can tell you. But definitely the differences on the style that you need and can make it to an advantage in a race car as well with a stick.
Yeah, well, mate, a race car is just a machine that responds to inputs and it's got controls, and whoever manipulates those controls the best is going to be the best driver. You start taking away some of those controls from them.
It's just a computer game.
It's a computer game, mate. Do you want to see computers driving cars, or do you want to see race drivers driving cars?
You want to see a race driver driving a car?
Yeah, I do.
I got some, like, this is just gold, right? Both Monaco, right? So the first one, the great, in my opinion, the greatest race driver of all times, Senna, right? Monaco Grand Prix. Check this lap out, right? So we're talking about gear shift, right? Proper driving. You ready?
Yep.
Go. Even crank up the volume. How good do the engines sound compared to what they are now? I mean, have a go with the steering input, dude. Remember, no power steering in these things too, so the steering will be heavy as hell up around the casino bend. Check the wheel work, and in between the wheel work, he's just grabbing a gear as well. Like down a shift. Remember, this is H pattern. This is not sequential either.
What have we done with the sport race?
Oh, well, have a look at it. Oh, this is true. He's battling oversteer, understeer.
Oh,
hear the blips on the throttle. He's using the blips to turn the car to get it tipped in. How's old mate standing in the tunnel here? That spins me out. It's only doing about 300 and something. But look at this through here, up to the swimming pool section, dude. One-handed all the way up. Just pulling gears. See, missed a gear there, went into neutral, but still plucked the gear. Like cars everywhere. These guys got one hand on the wheel, grabbing sticks. Like, it's just, look at him, hasn't even got his hand on the wheel. Like, it's just insane. Like, I just look at that. Look at it. I mean, he's had half the circuit.
No, it's just a brutal machine getting driven by someone who knows how to drive. Like, that's all we want to see.
He's driven half the circuit with one hand, basically, because he's grabbing seat. To me, that's to get a F1 car with that much grunt, no aids on it, very little aero back in those days. We're talking 1990, very little aero on the cars, fairly hard tyre as well. I mean, that's working, right? Comparison, and this is what is clear like night and day, supports your argument, right? Okay. So this is Lewis Hamilton, 2019, Monaco. You ready?
Is the engine on? Oh, there, I can hear it. Yeah.
Are you serious? He's having a go, by the way.
No, he's driving.
This is a pole lap, right? This isn't like... First time I saw this, I thought this was a roll-up lap, right? Really? Like, and this is taking nothing away from Lewis Hamilton. I mean, 7-time world champion. I mean, guy's seriously good, but look at the difference between the two. Like, in your opinion, dude, and I know what you're going to say, who's got the biggest skill set?
Well, Senna, undoubtedly, mate, he's got a lot more going on.
I don't think he's corrected yet. But look, it's just two hands, you know exactly where you are.
Yeah, it's committed and precise. And
oh, absolutely.
Look, you can see him, or me and you can see how good a job he's doing, but for the average person, how would they know?
There's no doubt. I'm not questioning at all the skill set, at all. For sure.
Entertainment, Russ.
Entertainment.
I'm
sitting back going, you know what, I'm not an F1 fan, but there's nothing else on TV bar reruns of Gilligan's Island, so I think I'll just, you know, all right.
Is that still on?
If I saw that, no, I don't think it's on, but it's back in that era, I'm showing my age. If I jumped on and watched that Senna lap, right,
I'm excited now.
How good's this? I'm going, man, that's pretty cool, you know, I think I'm going to watch F1, I'll watch the next race.
Yeah, we used to.
You know, it's just...
You remember being in Adelaide, used to run down to the first chicane there, but when we were racing there and watch Senna come through that chicane, just to see him rip through there.
Yeah. Loose, like the thing's out of control, looks like it was going to have a shunt every corner.
Well, we should get rid of the paddle shift out F1 cars too then.
Well, that would eliminate half the field, so I don't reckon they'd be able to drive it.
No, they wouldn't.
No.
This is a true story. When Verstappen come across to look at the 888 Red Bull touring car, sat in the car and put his hand up and said, "What's this?" He didn't know what the gear stick was.
Well, there you go.
Never had to use one.
No.
So, anyway, that's...
Yeah, I know. I get it with technology and all the rest of it.
I get it with technology, but I know what you're saying is, are we going to get manufacturers to pour a heap of money into touring car racing in the future? No, they're not. So let's just make a brutal... raw machine that's hard to drive, that moves around and rewards the best drivers, and it's easy to make a mistake.
The drivers make mistakes because that's all part of the deal. Whether you've actually been overtaken or you get overtaken because you made a mistake, it's all part of the same thing.
I'm with you.
Not making mistakes, you win the race. If you make a mistake, you don't.
You don't.
You know, so don't make a mistake. But if you give them a tool or a toy that you can't make mistakes.
Well, mate, you think back to your junior racing, the easiest way to pass someone was get in their mirrors, make them not concentrate and get them to miss a gear. How often did you see that happen?
All the time.
Look, the guy looks in his mirrors, next thing he misses the shift, you go straight past him.
Yeah.
You go out and watch the Hyundai XL racing, half the passes are done by people making mistakes.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm on your train.
Yeah.
All right, dude, we're coming to the end.
Righto.
Hey, look, we've got some questions already. We've only just launched the new Facebook Enforcer and the Dude site. So we'll be linking all of our Facebook pages to, of course, our existing YouTube channel, Enforcer and the Dude, but also our new dedicated Enforcer and the Dude Facebook, which we wanted to make a dedicated one because usually it's been rolling off the back of my one, but...
you do like the big hits on your Facebook page.
I did. It made me look good. I know. I've got lots of followers.
Some big numbers on there,
Lots of followers, mate. I feel very loved, you know. It's a bit sad that I'm feeling loved because of likes, isn't it?
And a lot of those comments...
Am I an influencer?
Yeah.
Do I influence people?
Oh, I think you do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be an influencer.
I think you...
Sounds sort of trendy. I'd buy some white
have
shoes.
you got a blue
or something.
tick?
Huh?
Have you got a blue tick on your Instagram?
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, you're not. You've got to get one of those, mate.
No, no blue ticks.
Oh, well,
No.
maybe you're not an influencer.
Got a few odours, but no blue ticks. Hey, fan questions.
Yeah.
Let's roll through a few, all right?
Well, we covered a few of them off in the show because it did help us. A lot of the questions here we have covered off. So.
Yep. So, Enforcer and the Dude fan questions, all right? So, we've had, and they've actually been really good, and that's what I like. Our fans, because I find our following is very knowledgeable in the sport, but they're just always searching for that little bit more. So hence the questions. The questions are really good. I really like this one from Stephen Finkel. He actually emailed in too, because we've got an email now. We're very trendy.
Oh, this is a good one.
If you can walk into any car dealership in Australia and take any car for the weekend, no strings attached, what car would you choose?
Oh, for me it'd be the Ram.
Would it?
Yeah.
You already got a Ram. That's pretty boring. Why would you take another one?
Huh?
No, you got to take something different than what you own now.
I wouldn't, mate. Okay,
Really?
Silverado.
Really?
I'd try out the Silverado for the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Well, what would you get? Porsche or something, would you?
No, look, I'm not a.
It's free, remember?
Well, I am a Gold Coast property developer now, so I could walk around in a Ferrari or
Bentley
Porsche
or something.
Bentley or something. Bentley. No, look, I'm not a big fan of sports cars, you know.
Yeah.
There's a dude in my street that's got a Ferrari and it just annoys me. I want to,
Is it paddle shift? Does he do that?
He's a paddle shift and he thinks he's a race car driver.
Run,
and he
run,
annoys
run
me.
down the
Yeah,
street.
just low rent, you know. and yeah, so I've never been a big fan of that. I feel like when I'm in it, I feel like a bit of a tool. You know, no offence to anyone that owns sports cars, but I don't know. It's just not me. I like muscle cars.
Yes.
You know, but he's saying something off a showroom floor, so I'd love to jump in a Resto Mod Mustang or something, or a Camaro.
So it's got to be new.
Yeah, but so it's got to be new. So.
Well, come on, mate. Hurry up.
No. I think I'd roll with one of those new Porsche Taycans.
Yeah.
I know I've just contradicted myself a little bit, but think of it this way: I want to know what this totally electric vehicle thing. I've driven hybrids before.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But that thing, their GT one or whatever they call it, the Hollywood version, 0 to 102.6. I just want to know what basically a golf buggy does in 2.6 seconds. So.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get one for the show one day.
That's a good point.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, I'll work. Actually, no, I got to contact a Porsche dealer down the Gold Coast.
Is that why you just decided you'd...
No, because
it's not cash for comment, is it, right?
No. What triggered me was the Mark Webber thing. You're saying
No, he
about
did
Porsche.
that. Mark, I actually had a good
he's
look
had
at
a
that
fair
car.
bit of input.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't actually mind having a stab at that.
Righto.
I wouldn't own one. I'd just like to grab it. He said, just grab it.
When you run out of battery, I'll get my Dodge Ram with my trailer and come and pick you up.
Okay, well, that's it. I'll give you a call. Paul, come and get me. We've run out of bats. All right, one for you, mate. What do you got?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know one.
What?
That one there.
Which one's that, mate?
That one there.
Oh, yeah. Where is that?
Yeah. Second page, mate. Jeez, you're all over it.
I don't have
Third
that.
page.
I don't have that. Here it is, here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Mark Elborn. It's a Facebook comment.
Yep.
So it's besides Feeney, meaning Brock Feeney,
Yep.
who you're tipping to be the next big thing out of the Super 2s. Love the show, can't wait for the next episode. Absolute legends.
Thanks, buddy.
That's a good one. Yeah, Super 2. So
Yep.
Brock's an easy one for me to talk about because I dealt with him from an early age. But there's no one sticking right out there that's doing a really good job. But there's 4 or 5 young kids in there they've got to prove themselves.
I'm not sure. I think it might be the son of a guy who used to race in karts back in the early days, but Jaden Rowbotham.
Rowbotham's done a good job. He's come from, he'd done some XL racing, Toyota 6, he's done TA2, then he did some Super 3.
He was all right in Super 3, I thought.
He did a good job. So there's Jaden Ojeda, there's Rowbotham.
Yep.
There's Jordan Boys.
Jordan Boys actually seems to be half a good steerer.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. So there's a few kicking around.
So look, they're all in there, and I'm all
Yep.
interested in watching them, what they do.
Still too early.
Still too early, and the reason
Yep.
I talk about Brock is because I deal with him all the time. So that's not to say the other kids aren't as good or doing a better job. I'm just not around them all the time.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Jake Christopher Attard, Facebook comment.
Yep.
Will Russell Ingall do some TCR races this year? Question is, no, phone hasn't rang.
Hasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it rang last time I did it, and for some reason they must have lost my number. So
Okay.
if the phone rings, I'll do it. I'll race anything. I'm pretty cool. Well, almost anything. But no, phone hasn't rang. So sorry, Jake, not at the present time. But never say never, as I always say. There's always something coming up around the corner. Jim Thompson, what's your take on paddle shift and auto blip? Well, if you watch this episode, you've covered this off, and yep, just look in the skip bin. That's where you find our paddle shift. What else we got?
There's one here from Scott Lefeld.
Yeah.
The Facebook comment, and this guy's obviously a bit technical.
Yeah, okay.
If they want to run electric shift on Gen 3 to save gearboxes, why don't they put a micro switch on the existing shifter? Then they would have the best of both worlds. So, yeah, you could definitely do that.
Sort of masking a...
Yeah, but you're not going to save any money just by having an electric shift. Where you save the money is the computer-assisted shifting. So that locks you out from shifting down early.
Yep.
It rev matches for you. Basically, the computer's doing everything a driver does, and making sure that it stays within that parameters. So that covers that one off.
Hey, I've got one for you.
Yeah.
Only because I wanted to bring it up on the show when you get a chance. Are DJR feeling the pain of Penske's checkbook leaving, or are they just getting up to speed with new drivers? That's from Tim Whitman's, another Facebook comment. And I'm going to throw it at you because this is a bit of a curveball for you because you've got one of your proteges in there with Anton as well. So, but also I see there must be, I haven't read it myself. I don't read some of the comments and junk mail that goes kicking around, but I think DJ are copping a bit of flack at the moment, saying, "Oh, well, you haven't got Scott McGough and Penske, so you're not doing it." Just a few comments that have come out from team members within DJR saying, "Oh, stop throwing rocks at us."
Yeah,
you know?
even Scotty McLaughlin went to the defence.
Yeah, exactly right. So I thought that was timely we comment on it, but you know, what's the word from Anton within that?
Well, I think there's two things going on there. Obviously, Scott McLaughlin's very good.
Yeah.
And the speed of that car, if you look at Fabian, he was sort of 10th and Scott's first. So somewhere in between all that's the true speed of the car.
Yep.
And they're not going to know till they get those drivers in the cars. The feedback from Anton was that the car was a bit nervous at Bathurst. They tuned it to how he liked it and he got some speed. But I think where he went wrong, he saw the leaders disappearing down the road and tried to go with them. That's when he crashed the car. So, and their car wasn't that strong at Bathurst last year. Remember? Yeah,
that's true.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
You've got to look at the last time they raced and where their car speed was, which is about where they're running. But no doubt, there's some Scott McLaughlin factor there.
Couldn't agree more.
And I think one thing that Scott McLaughlin did have was a massive work ethic. I think he put in a lot of work. Yeah.
And that's not shining any negativity towards DJR at all as a team. You know, there's no doubt about it. The presentation and the car preparation probably shouldn't have changed. Not at this stage. I mean, they're just rolled into a new year. But yeah, you're right. The Scott McLaughlin factor is huge. And he's proved that within other categories and proving it now within IndyCar how talented he actually is. So, and it'd be no different than Triple Eight with Shane Van Gisbergen if he wasn't there. You know, he suddenly decided to leave, or I mean, they've got two of the best drivers in the country sitting in both their seats. That could change, and is going to change in one of them, and down the road it could change in both of them. So there's nothing to say they won't be in the same boat. Just now and then you get freak drivers that come along that are just bloody good, you know, and Scott was one of them, you know. So it's going to take a little while for, you know.
Oh, they'll get the direction they need to go in. But to answer the question, has the wheels fallen off it because of Penske's left? No, I don't think so.
No, not at all. No, just pure getting the drivers back up to speed and with you got different operators. You know?
Yeah, a different operator. The car's a bit different. Anton's been used to driving that car he's been at.
Yep.
But it's up to him to do the work, to build that team around him, to drag it up the grid.
It's all part of the deal.
You think you're just going to get in Scott McGotlin's car and take off where he left off? That ain't going to happen.
No, it's all part of the resume.
Roll the sleeves up.
The resume isn't just about jumping in and grabbing champagne.
Yeah.
Mate, that's about it. We've just about nailed it. Really good to be back with everyone. Again, big thanks to our new partner, Super Cheap Auto as well. Don't forget, please subscribe to our new Enforcer and the Dude Facebook page, our existing YouTube channel as well. Make sure you jump on that. We'll be sending notifications everywhere as soon as all the new shows, and we're taking a lot of little segments out too, and different segments along the way. So keep an eye out for them. But one thing we're never going to change is Dude's Life Message.
Dude's Life Message.
Very popular, mate. Very popular because you've influenced so many people and changed lives with your message. Changed lives you have.
Well, this one's from a fan.
Okay.
Damien Rudin, he keeps sending me messages.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. And he says to me all the time, just remember, paddles are for kayaks.
Very, very appropriate for this segment.
I think it's great, and I laugh every time I get the message from him. So
paddles are for kayaks.
Thanks, mate. And,
that's a great way to end the show. So there you go. That's where your paddles will end up. Your paddle shifters are all ended up in kayaks in the drink.
Yeah.
It's been great, mate.
Good on you, mate. Good to be back.
It is. See you next time. See you guys. Cheers.